You requested a slow-paced tutorial of how I achieved this stitch pattern, so here it is. So start with your foundation chain. I'll start with my slip knot first, as with any other blanket. I like to make the corners a little bit tighter than the other ones. The amounts that you cast does not matter if it's even or odd, so it can go for any one of them. For this particular one, I'm going to cast on 14 chain. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. This is a side note. I got someone in my comments asking that if I cast on 14, if I cast on 12 chain and the first loop becomes my first loop for the first row, doesn't that mean that I casted on 11? Now here is the answer. You are not counting the loops when you are chaining. You're counting these braids that are formed. So for me, I have formed, this is my 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So if I pull this out, this becomes 8. So I'm not counting this as my chain. This is the loop. Is when you form a braid by pulling out, or when you form a stitch by pulling out another loop from it, that it becomes a chain. So for me, this chain is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and then 10. I just wanted to take that out of the way. 11 12. Now this is 13, and then this is 14. So this is the 14th. So that is why if I count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 and 14. Now this becomes number 1 of the next loop. So this will be my first loop, and when I drag out from this, skip one of this, go to the next, drag on like so. Pull out from the back, drag on to get the braided sides. So for this particular stitch, I'm going to increase my loop side. That will account for the twist. So instead of my regular 2 that I will do there, I'll do 3 here. So that is 3. And when I pull my loop here as well, let me zoom in. When I pull my loop here, this becomes, I'll pull 3 fingers. That's 1 and 2. And I will do this all through till I get to the end here. Another one, 3 fingers, not 2. So it will be the same size loop as when you were making your foundation chain. And that is just to account for the twist that is going to come up next in the next row. So I will speed this up and get to the end. So this is your foundation chain, and then this is your first row. So this is where the twist is going to begin from here to here. I'll drop this stitch, which will be my basic knit and basic knit here. Let me zoom in a little. So going this way, you will, the first one, you're going to twist in this direction you're heading towards. Like this is your loop. You're going to twist like this in this direction that you're walking. So the interesting thing about this is that unlike the herringbone, whereby this also you're going to twist in that direction, for this particular stitch, the next loop has to alternate with this previous loop, how it's facing. So I twisted in this direction for this first loop. This second loop will be twisted in this opposite direction, like so. So it's like twist right, the next loop twist left. I'm going to continue and do the rest loops like that. So this is the next two. I just twisted left like so with this loop. This next loop will be twisted to the right, like so. Don't worry, very soon you're going to hang of it. The next loop, I twisted to the right, right? This next loop will twist to the left. I twisted to the left. This next one will go to the right. Right, left, right, twist left, twist right, twist right, twist left, twist right, twist left, and then the last loop will be a basic knit, like so. Going to the next. So we have row 1, row 2, and row 3. And we'll go to row 4 next. Oh, sorry, because I don't count my foundation as my row 1. My foundation is counted as foundation. So I have row 1, row 2. So the next row is row 3. So we are in row 3 now, because the first row was the basic knit, and then the second row was when we twisted and formed the pattern. So to avoid confusion when you're knitting or to start guessing where you are, I typically just form like pairs. So this is the basic knit on the side, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2 down like so. Once I have that, what I will now look at for this particular pattern is that just like when it's facing this direction in the previous row, then this next direction has to face the other way, like so. Do you see that? It's going to face this way. It's not going to face this way. It's going to face the other direction, like so. And then I will knit that and form my 3 loops as usual. This side, as you see, is facing this direction, closing up like a V like this. So this next row has to face the other direction, like so. And then I'll pull my loop and form my stitch. 3 like so. Next pair of loops, right? This is facing this direction, so this one up here is going to face opposite direction. If that is a little complicated for you to remember, then once you get these two sorted, you can start doing the same thing we did before, where this loop alternates with this. So you see this one was facing this way now, and when I twisted this, it faced the other way. So pick one that works for you. I like to pick the one of looking at my previous row and seeing the direction is facing and go the opposite direction in the next row. So this right here is facing this direction, so I know if I'm twisting this next row, it's going to face this other direction, like so. And then I'll pass my loop, and that will form another one. At this stage, you might not see the pattern yet. It's when you keep working, then you're going to see the pattern. Now, this is the next pair. You see, this is facing this direction, so this next row is going to face this direction. Twist like so, and pull your working yarn out, up like so. This previous row is facing inward like this, in like this to the right. So this one is going to face to the left. This next row will face left. So it's basically alternating one row with the other previous row. Now this is the next 2 pairs. look at what they already formed here. Facing this direction, what direction do you think it will face next? If you say this way, you're correct. Turn around like this and form that. Now, this is just a swatch, so I'm generally a tight knitter. If I wanted to knit this blanket for myself, I might go a little tighter. But just to be safe when you're learning to first relax. And for you to relax, go the same width with your measurement here. So this next one is facing in to the right. This next row will face to the left, like so. Let's do this next one, facing both of them like this. This is facing left. My next row is going to face right. Twist to the right, I mean. And pull out, and you have 3 loops. Look at this one. This previous loop was twisted facing right. This loop will be twisted facing left, like so. And pull out and measure 3 fingers. Same thing for this last pair. This loop from the previous row is twisted facing left. This next row twist will be to the right. And this is the last one. It's going to face to the left. So once I get here, then I'm going to do my basic knit on the side for my side braid. There it is. And we'll do one more row and I will show you it's the same thing. Before I start, I pair them up 2, 2, 2. Now that is what I like to do to reduce any confusion. You don't have to, but I recommend you should do it at least for the first few tries. So now I am back to my 2 pairs now. Look at the previous row. It's twisted to the left. That means this loop will be twisted to the right. So this is what you will keep doing for every row until you build it up to the height that you want. Now this is twisted to the right. Now this new loop is going to be twisted to the left. So twist and pull. You're working yarn out, pull out. So as you can see, that's open and close as formed in this first one, like so. So I'll go to the next one. This previous loop was twisted to the left. This current loop will be twisted to the right, like so. So I hope this is slow paced enough for you and you understand what I'm doing. So the thing is, when I upload my videos, please leave feedback for me, what you think I can do better. Respectfully, of course, because this is a safe environment. I want us to respect each other. But at the same time, I want you to learn along with me as I learn how to knit all this blanket. That is the essence of me taking time to record all these videos and posting it on my page. So it is from your feedback that I will know what it is that you want. And if this is your first video here, I try to cater as much to the beginner level. So I know that people learn differently and people, enjoy different teaching style as well. So I can't cater to everybody. But if you have a concern, please leave it respectfully in the comment section or DM me. And then if I can help, I'm going to get right back to that. I'm going to address that concern of yours, because that's what I'm here for us all to learn together and grow. So if this video was helpful, please do give it a thumbs up, share it, and save it for later use. So that is what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to work like 5 more rows and I'll come show you what it looks like and you see the similarity. I'm not going to do up to this 11 rows. I'm just going to do like 5 rows so that you can see the pattern. It's already forming right now though, if you look very closely. Maybe the color is not doing it justice, But if you look like so, then the next one, like so. So I'll go behind the camera and do that and come back and show you what I have done to the end. So that's what you continue to do. Pair them up and follow that way. And I think you will not miss your step if you do that religiously. So I've gone ahead and I've raised up the rows up to that, and as you can see exactly, the stitch is beginning to show more and you can appreciate it with that. So this is all I have left from the skein, so I'm just going to stop here. Like I said, if you find this video helpful, please do share and save this for later use. It's the weekend, so I believe it's that kind of pattern that you can grab a skein of yarn and practice during the weekend. Such a pretty cool pattern, and I just love it.